I'm the Purple Man, and this is my review for Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Now, this is one of the better films of 2023 to come out. It's very, very good because, well, it's better than anything Marvel puts out these days, say from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But even that couldn't really save it, but that's a topic for another day. Today we're talking about probably the greatest animated movie of all time, or one of the greatest animated movies of all time. You can tell that these writers and the animators and everyone who worked on this really actually cared about this film and they wanted it to succeed, and it's going to. If it doesn't do at least 700 million, then, well, I don't know. But I have like a few problems with it, but not to the point where it's like super annoying and like, oh, this is just people trying to insert an agenda. And this is also good because Disney now cannot claim that fans are being racisms because they're not going to see The Little Mermaid, because this film also has a black lead and people are going to see this one. So that means The Little Mermaid is just shape. So let's just get into the cons, shall we? Just right off the bat, what I'm going to say is it's a little long. I don't mind long films though. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh my god, it's 2 hours and a half. I'm never gonna get my. Anyway, the pacing, it can feel a little bit like the ending kind of drags on for a little while. I kept thinking, oh, it's gonna end here. No, it's gonna end here. No, it's gonna end here, because it's part of a two-parter, and two-parters, they're annoying because it's like, hey, here, we're gonna put this one out. Yeah, go see the next one. That's basically, there's no mid-credit scene to this one. They just said, go see the next one because Miles Morales will return here. And this is coming out in about a year, which sucks, but that's just life sometimes. So another big con I have is just the screen time of most of the characters. Like 2099, I think, got the worst of it because he was like marketed as like the big thing, basically. Not, I don't want to say villain because he's not the bad guy at all, but he just doesn't agree with Miles on a lot of stuff. He shows up at the beginning to like help Gwen fight a Renaissance vulture, which is kind of fun, and then he like disappears for the entire film until about like the last 30 minutes. And that's a little disappointing because I really wanted to see 2099. I was really looking forward to it. All he really does is he fights Vulture, he recruits Gwen, and he dumps a bunch of exposition on Miles, and then him and Miles have a fight, and then he looks for Miles, and that's it. That's all he really does. But like, he's supposed to be this like kind of threat type thing, and you can see it, and Oscar Isaac does a good job of the performance here, but he's, at times I kind of felt like he was just Spider-Man the Rage Monster because he's just pissed off all the time. Another problem is the Spot. He's supposed to be the main villain, but he's in only 3 scenes. Just his introduction where it's like, oh, Miles is making fun of him and he's like, has a quick fight. And I thought that would be it, but no, he comes back and has another quick fight and revealed that he is a scientist from Alchemy X, and he turned this way because of the collider explosion, which is what I was predicting. And apparently he's the one that created Miles because he was the one experimenting on the spider, and he thinks that like, oh, they're supposed to be enemies and whatever, but like Miles doesn't want to take him seriously at first. I'm gonna say this is what MODOK should have been in Ant-Man, because you took this joke of a villain and you made him actually pretty menacing and kind of a good backstory, and he wants to be taken seriously. That's his whole thing. He doesn't want to be a joke. That's kind of what MODOK should have been. I'd like anything over just what we got. Another type of con type thing is that it kind of feels like Gwen's movie for a bit, because it takes 20 minutes for Miles to show up. And I'm really upset that they reduced actual Spider-Man's role down to just the last 30 minutes as well. He's just a dad, basically, in a bathrobe with his kid the whole time. That's it. That's it. I mean, he tries to chase after Miles. That's like the one thing he does, and it kind of sucks. And I was upset. As I was saying, it kind of comes off as Gwen's movie because like you get scenes with just her and like not Miles. I mean, her arc is like kind of straightforward and it's good, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it just kind of takes up a chunk of the film, and you could have just like, you could have rushed through it, but I'm glad they didn't. They fleshed it all the way out. Okay, now onto the pros. The animation is the biggest one probably because it looks absolutely amazing. It's so much better than the last one as well. And it's not just the choppy type thing. And every like dimension has its own unique art style that's like super cool. And like you can see that there was a lot of care and time put into this, and they're probably still animating the next one now, to be honest. But like hopefully this lives the next one lives up to the quality of this one, because this one was great in terms of animation. Visually it is stunning. It is great. The story as well, it's okay. You can cut out a few things because it kind of drags on for a little while, but that's my only kind of criticism of the actual story. There's no lecturing, there's no politics injected, and there's nothing. It's just a good story that these writers wanted to tell, and I love it. Another pro is all the cameos. It doesn't feel like kind of forced like Multiverse of Madness did. You get so many references to like stuff the average person would understand and stuff you would have to be a hardcore fan to understand. Like they bring back Video Man. He was a character from like the old Spider-Man TV show, and he kind of was like a villain of the week type thing, and they bring him back here. And I kind of was shocked in the theater to see him again because like I watched the Spider-Man show when I was little, and he was part of it, and I was like, oh, it's Video Man. I don't think anyone else in the theater knew what I was talking about, and you have to be really, really hardcore fans to know who that is. But that's an obscure one. One that I didn't see coming was Donald Glover as the Prowler. Just Roger Rabbited in there. He's live action, and he's in like a prison cell. He's in a suit, but like hopefully we actually get to see him fight Tom Holland at some point. But like I don't know if this is MCU's Aaron Davis or like just some other guy, but we don't know. Also, they brought back J.K. Simmons. He's not seen a ton. He's mostly just heard in the background with people who are watching the Daily Bugle, but and there's archived audio. Actually, most of the cameos are just archived stuff, like Toby and Andrew show up as archived footage. And there's some archived audio for Jameson in the Lego world, and Mrs. Chen shows up for a minute from Venom. This, I think, is everything that Multiverse of Madness should have been. Again, like, Marvel, take notes from Sony here, because this is a Sony film. They just done it in association with you. Also, the best part, there's no... And Gwen is actually a good character, and she doesn't just act like a complete arrogant arsehole to Miles and say, oh, no, I'm better than you because I'm a whammon. No. That's not how it goes at all. She has her own stuff. She's got flaws she's got to go through. She's not perfect at everything. This is what any girl superhero should be. But no, Marvel doesn't want to do that nowadays. Whatever. I think it's funny to see Andy Samberg as Scarlet Spider now as well. It's hilarious. But the biggest pro, I think, is like the animation, but also the score. He's like super amazing. I think Daniel Pemberton outdid himself here when he was producing the score. I took a listen and I heard the Prowler theme, and I'm like, oh, the Prowler's gonna be in it, and he is. He's at the very, 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 very end when it's revealed that like Miles is the Prowler of this universe, and it's fun. Oh, by the way, the plot twist is that the spider is from Earth 42, and Miles was not supposed to get bitten, and if he hadn't got bitten, his Spider-Man would still be alive, and Earth 42 would have a Spider-Man. So that's why Miguel O'Hara is so rage monstery at him throughout the trailers, and that's why he doesn't let him join. And like Miles, this is Miles trying to figure this out throughout the whole thing. Honestly, again, I wish 2099 got more screen time. It's all right. Onto the roles here. So Shamik Moore does a great job of Miles Morales as usual. He's doesn't really bring anything new. He does a lot more emotion than just, oh, haha, it's funny, laugh type of thing. Haley Steinfeld is about on par with the last one, but she also brings a lot more emotion to this one, and it's not just cut away with a joke. That's what the MCU does. But I'm starting to think this one's connected to the MCU because of the look of that timeline thing that 2099 was saying. So, I don't know. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I want this just to be its own thing, please. Please. Jake Johnson has his role reduced for Spider-Man, and he's kind of just there for the last 30 minutes. He's not really in it too much. Kaden Soni shows up as Spider-Man India. He's funny in his scenes that he's in, and he's kind of just there for laughs, but like Also, Miles broke the canon by saving an inspector, and he was supposed to die. So then the universe unravels. I don't know if he dies though, because I don't think it's confirmed. Daniel Kaluuya as Spider-Punk, I think, is the best part of this film, other than 2099, because he is hilarious and he's just a walking stereotype basically, and they make fun of it constantly, and you can tell this guy's just having fun with the role, and I love it. Andy Samberg isn't in it that much as Scarlet Spider, but when he is, it's just for laughs again. But like he's trying to do this gruff kind of like war veteran type voice, and it's really funny when he's trying to like inspect them. He's like, okay, this walls that looks normal. Oh, I was just remembering my tragic backstory. It's super funny. Not many characters from the last film show up. I mean, Miles' parents have like a super expanded role, but like other than that, Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham are technically in it, but they don't speak. Penny is also in it, but she has one line and she has a cameo basically, but that's it. Issa Rae as Spider-Woman, I don't know. She didn't really have to be there. She's just there to kind of like communicate with Gwen throughout the whole thing and like say, "Oh, you better do this or I'm gonna tell Miguel." And she has one fight scene. It's just weird seeing a pregnant woman try and fight people. I don't know why the creators chose to do this, but whatever. I'm not complaining. At least she's not and insufferable. So Mahershala Ali is still great as Prowler with the limited screen time that he gets at the end. But you can tell he can be menacing even when he's not saying anything. But like Mahershala Ali's vocal performance, I think, sells it. Brian Tyree Henry as Miles' dad, and Luna Lauren Velez, I think that's how you say her name, as Miles' parents. They bring a lot more emotion to the role as well, because they lose Miles at the end, and like Gwen actually interacts with them this time around, so that was kind of fun to see, and it's like they have a lot of funny scenes as well. The final fight, I think, is the best part of the film, because Miles decides to make like a Kenobi rider and break canon by trying to save his dad, who has to die in when Spot destroys the city, because that's what's supposed to happen. But Miles, pulling the generic hero type thing, is I can do both. I want to save one person instead of the entire multiverse. And Miguel here is rage monsters at him, has a fight with him, gets electrocuted, and he's kind of nerfed in this one, but he like comes close to killing Miles, but like just because Miles is electricity power, that's the only reason that he won. I really want to see more 2099. Probably he's going to be like pursuing him throughout the sequel. And then Gwen and Peter and the three from the last one, plus Spider-Punk and Spider-Man India, are trying to find him. So that's probably going to be split. It's just trying to find Miles where he is, and then Miles is going to like learn more about Earth 42 or something probably. And the Spot is like the looming threat. All right. Hopefully they have some more fun cameos in the next one. This one was certainly fun. You can take your kids to it, and they'll enjoy it because of all the pretty flashy colors, and adults can also enjoy it because it's a good story, and its voice acting is spectacular, and it's a good time all around. So I'm waiting for the sequel intently, and I'm probably going to see this one a few more times, and it's kind of a speed run here because we still got The Flash and we still got Transformers coming out, along with Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible 7. And then Five Nights at Freddy's, which I'm really, really looking forward to. So all those reviews are coming out once I see the films, and once the films comes out, just keep an eye on it. And I got my computer back now, so I'm able to record and edit these videos just quickly. So until next time, I am the Purple Man, signing off.